In today's video, I will introduce the main boss fights one by one, starting from easy to hard. However, when I say a boss is easy, it doesn't mean it's a pushover. All bosses, including mini-bosses, can wipe you out if you take them lightly, even the weakest one. The most deadly skill of Behemoth Basilisk is its poison breath. The adds the boss summons are mostly melee, and they die fast if you have enough dexa to cleave on them. The Behemoth Basilisk also does undodgeable skills like flapping wings and dropping icy needles. A few dedicated healers help healing, and cast Arch Cure will make the boss fight much easier. Most of Infernus's skills can be dodged by moving around. However, this doesn't mean it's weak. The floor will be captured by flames over time, and his non-stop flame spell and moving firewall will keep you busy running for your life. Healing pressure increases as the adds get stronger, so remember to bring extra supplies and try not to get killed during the fight. If you die, you will need lots of luck or lots of healing to recover your body. When you fight the Great Sunken Serpent, you need to watch your feet and move away when the water changes its color. The serpent will turn the floor into deadly traps, and it will one-shot if your health is low. When the serpent has low health, the adds it summons are mostly ranged and hit hard. At this stage, you need to either stop damaging the boss and clear the adds first, or focus on the boss and end the fight as soon as you can. The Emperor Dragon's strength does not match his huge size. The breath he does is slow and gentle. The boss becomes a little bit threatening when it charges. I would suggest not standing together. Dying alone is better than getting killed together. When the boss at its low health, it will summon powerful monsters like spinebreakers, sunworms, and dragons. At this stage, I would recommend killing the adds before finishing the boss. The Aegis High Priest is annoying. It webs people after it turns into a giant spider. This makes the fight much longer than it should be. Here are some things you need to keep in mind during the boss fight. First, always keep the boss busy in melee combat when the boss is in human form. Otherwise, the High Priest will cast spells that cause AoE burst and bleed damage. Second, make sure to bring enough cure potions. When the High Priest turns into spider form, it spits out poison saliva, which is a guided skill that will hit and poison you 100%. Third, start moving once you see the boss start throwing blood orbs. The orb only targets where you stand, and you can dodge it by running around. The adds the boss summons are fairly weak, but the Blood Sorcerer needs to be killed as soon as possible because it casts spells that cause area bleed. Lord Bao being notorious for years because it one-shots players for no reason. I believe it got nerfed in 2023. But the nerf just made the boss reasonable. It's still a deadly boss. You need to bring lots of cure and heal potions before you fight Lord Bile. Most of his skills hit hard and will poison you. When Lord Bile pukes, it will cover the floor with pink vomit. The vomit does direct damage and has a chance to poison when touches player. After a few seconds, the pink vomit explodes, and the explosion is able to kill any player standing on it. Lord Bile also spits out poison, which has a long range and can hit you even if you are off screen. The adds that the boss summoners are mostly poisonous, except for the Otu, which doesn't poison but does massive AoE damage. Otu is a huge threat for mage class, so kill it as soon as possible. Mage summoners offer great support. It summons earth elements, can tank both the boss and adds. The spell Arch Cure can cure poison within an area, so if you have a mage summoner dedicated to tanking and curing, it will make this boss fight much easier. Imagine slipping on a soapy floor with a crate of beer. You might get back up, but collecting the scattered bottles is a whole different ballgame. This is exactly what will happen to you if you get killed against the Terathan Goliath. Dude does screen wide, no blind spots AoE damage skills. Unless the boss changes its position to a screen far away from your corpse, you can't get your corpse back. The boss summons ants that do huge burst damage, and they come from under your feet. The explosion ants won't hurt you if you keep moving, but they will get you killed when you stand still. So if your body is in a very bad spot, I would recommend you run back to your home, resupply yourself, and come back. It just takes less than 2 minutes, otherwise you will become a burden to the team. It is understandable that the owner of the sacred cemetery will be displeased with our trespassing. The Forgotten King will smash traps at your face during the whole boss fight. The spike traps will target where you stand, and there is no warning sign before they come up. You have to move constantly. If you get hit by more than one spike trap, I would suggest running off screen and waiting out the bleed before coming back. Explosive traps are not that troublesome. There are signs before the bombs show up, and you also have 3 seconds to run away before they explode. However, once you are hit by more than one, you will be blown up right where you are. So stay highly alert during the whole boss fight. When the boss's health gets lower, he will start summoning powerful casters like liches. These ranged mobs need to be killed as soon as possible. The zombie dragon is always the first priority target. Its breath of disease is extremely deadly. The Gargoyle Primogen resembles a huge bat that can't fly. It's one of the deadliest bosses in the Outlands. Even if you do everything right, there's still a chance the boss can wipe you out. We were wiped by this boss at its 10% health, despite having more than 20 people and killing all the ads. When the last wave of ads appeared, there was a server save, and the Flame Shapers killed half of our crew, while the boss's skill destroyed another half. Apparently, monsters never lag. I don't have much to say about its skills. You need to be ready, run for your life as soon as you enter its sight. Flame Shepherd and Priest should always be your first target. Bring a bard to piece the boss and place a set of runes before the boss fight. Selective DPS and dedicated mages for healing and resurrection are strongly recommended. The Crawl Hydra is a new main boss after the expansion patch. Hydra summons the strongest ads. The Warden does a huge amount of AoE damage, and the Dung Beetle also does extremely high disease damage. These two are priority targets when they appear. Don't get me wrong, other ads are also powerful. You need to take them down as soon as possible. Most of the boss's skills can be easily dodged by moving around, except for one. I call it Flying Donut. This skill has a huge range and will hit you even if you are off screen. In order to dodge this donut, you need to know the boss's position. The trajectory of the Flying Donut is fixed. Just imagine you want to cut a cake into 8 pieces. You won't be hit by the donuts as long as you stay in the green zone. Hydra will occasionally summon storms around its body, doing massive damage and applying different dot effects each wave. All players must withdraw from the boss immediately. Melee classes should always be ready to rope away. The storm damage will significantly reduce if you are 15 tiles away from the boss. In conclusion, players need to keep the boss in sight during the whole boss fight. If you get too far, you might be hit by the Flying Donut because you don't know the boss's position. If you get too close, the storms will tear you apart. Overall, Hydra's skills combine both dot and burst damage, but most of the skills are predictable. The key to survival is to keep your health full and make sure you always have a plan B to instant recover health. A dedicated healer can be extremely helpful for the boss fight. Gatekeeper was once the most terrifying boss in the entire game. Half of its skills are undodgeable, and you need to heal through them. The Falling Stars will kill mages almost instantly if they don't run away. The Chain Lightning the boss casts is a conductive multi-stage, 2 screen wide, no blind spot AoE damage skill. Not only that, but it will paralyze you and interrupt your spells. The good news is, the lightning won't hit you if you are hidden. Even if you have done everything right, the boss can still wipe the entire party within 10 seconds with 2 consecutive spells. In order to reduce the frequency of skill cast, you must make sure the boss is always stuck in melee fight. The adds the boss summons, which can deal both physical and magical AoE damage. It's not a good idea to stand next to the boss. You might get killed either by the boss's skill or the AoE damage done by the adds. Bring a bard, runes, mage summoners, dedicated healers to this boss fight, and some luck. Wilderness boss is hard, but after all these, I believe you will figure how to kill the boss by yourself. The only thing you need to worry is PvP. You will need a lots of PvP backup when you fight this boss. Don't wait for resurrection, you can do it by yourself. There is a healer nearby where is 20 seconds walk. Okay, this is the end of this video. This took much longer than I thought. If you like the content, make sure like and subscribe.